Sometimes it's uh, I see things that I don't carry with me. I don't have this memory, but it's showing up on Facebook. This memories they showing what I have posted there since 2007, and uh, I don't know if I have talking about it here on my podcast about in April 2008. I was on my way to a race in inflammation in my body, and was very bad in the psoriasis and my pancreas, and but I have not got any medicine for it, and I eat a painkiller in that time, tramadol, and because of the pain, because the psoriasis was in my joints, and it was hurt me so very much, and it was I should go to the doctor next day, but this day I was only taking my tramadol to could walk out. That I had so much pain, so I couldn't walk out without eat tramadol, and I was only going out with a not treasure, trash a trash bag, very big one, a little heavy. And then I took the bus and to downtown, and then I was thinking I should go to the bank for some reason, and when I come into the traveling station to because I have to go through the center of the traveling where we have the train, ferries, and buses. Everything is there in the center, and I start to walk there, and it's marbles floor, so it's kind of hard to fall. If you fall there, you're gonna hurt very much. And I look at the clock on the wall because I was in hurry to come to the bank before they closed. It was that day, one day in the week they had open longer, so they were open till 6 o'clock, and I saw that it was 5:45 or something like that. And just when I had look at the clock on the wall, I felt like all energy was going out from me, and I was frightened to fall on the marble floor. So I tried to reach the sofa, and there was a man, this Arabic man, sitting there and talking the telephone, and I could sit there with him, and then I whisper because I was out of energy, so I couldn't talk. I only could whisper a little, and I say to him to call for the ambulance. I say to him, very weak, and he looked at me like, who is she? Like, what kind of person is this? So he walked away and didn't say anything. Then it was some friend that he knew. They were standing and look at me, but they didn't do anything. And I sit there, and then it come a woman that was known in my city to be, I don't know if she, I have not talked to her, so I don't know if she was mental sick or she was on drugs or drinking something. She was like looking for bottles. She had lots of bags with her, but she was a young woman, about 40 years old. So she come to look at me, and I took up. Now I was even more weak, so I could only move a finger to make a finger that like this, come to me, like that, sign on the finger. And she would be curious what I wanted. She thought it was something that have with these people that was is homeless here in this our city, that I have some drugs or money for her or something like that. And she come to me, and she, like they do, she bowed down her head and wanted to listen what I wanted to say in secret. She thought it was like a secret talking to her, only between her and me. But it was that I was so weak, I couldn't talk. So I said to her to call for an ambulance. And she said to me that she's going to. There is a security guard in those places, so she knew them, and so she went to those security guard and tell them about me. So the security guard come to me, and when I saw that the security guard come close to me, then I let it go. It was very strange, but I know now how it is when the people that is going to die, they like wait for someone to come, and then when maybe like loved ones is coming to their deathbed, they let it go. And that was the same for me, that I didn't try to keep me alive. And so one of the security guard, he go down on his knees and he look up on my face, because my head was bowed down to the floor. I have no energy to hold it up the head, and he looked at me and he said that don't fall to sleep, and he asked this woman, that homeless woman, he asked her if I knew if she knew me, and she said I have never seen her before, she said. And I could hear some of the words they were saying, and then the one that was on his knees, and he said to his partner that we have to call for the ambulance, and it's a serious thing, and when it's most serious, it's called. I don't know if it's called in other countries, but here in Sweden, it's called priority one. That's priority one call, he say, and that means that they coming with an alarm on with the highest speed they can do, because I was on my way to die. And when he say that, then I let it go even more, and then suddenly I was down like in a well, a dry well, and I standing in the bottom on this dry well, and it was so very high up, so I couldn't see the opening of the well. I couldn't see the sky. I was only standing in like a well, and it was like sand. It looked like sand. A rose, a pink, light pink sand color, and I I was not thinking. I don't know if I had a body. I don't think I had a body. I only had my eyes, and I don't know if I had ears, because there was silence. There were nothing sound there, and I was standing and look around where I was, and then on the left side I saw a tunnel, and in that tunnel it was black. It was really dark. It was no light there, but it was big enough for me to go in there, and I think I didn't have a body, because the tunnel was not so high up. It was maybe 1 meter high, but in that tunnel I saw legs and hands and arms. It was very much going on in the tunnel there. I saw it, and I was. If the security guard had not wake me up, they shake me up to life. If they have not done it, I have been walking into the tunnel, and I was not ready to go to heaven in that time. I have got the knowledge at much more after that time, after about it started to be really much teaching. Only now, when I started a podcast, that's the most good knowledge I have got from the spirits that is coming here. They have taught us. They have taught me. They have told me what's going on, and it maybe started. I think it started when I was in hypnosis, and that is 4 or 5 years ago. So maybe 2016 it started to raise very fast my knowledge. First, my walk in United States, that was to know that there is a God. That was the first knowledge, that I had to rely on God to survive in United States. That was the first part of the school, the education from God. And then I come home to Sweden, and I go worse in my health, very sick. And then I struggle with my illness first. So about 2015, that's when I got that medicine that I have today. That I got the medicine every third month. I get this very, very expensive medicine that I got. I don't remember if I told you that in the last episode, that I healed a young woman inside a hospital, and the doctor come to know that I have healed that woman from being dead, and they allowed me to get this very expensive medicine that they only gave to some few people. They say that it was 12 people in my big city. It's 120,000 people, I think, in the city, and much more maybe in the county. So it's only 12 people that have got that medicine, and I am one of them that have got it. And so I was standing there, and they shake me up, the security guard, and then it's come the ambulance, and I have like a trolley, a bag, because I should go and buy food after I have been to the bank. So I hardly. It was this homeless woman that gave the ambulance people my trolley bag, so I got it with me. And then in the ambulance, it's so very strange with my brain. It's very strange. But I know there is some people that have the same thing. That in the ambulance, I remember some what they were saying in the ambulance. They asked me about my name and my address, and when I am out, when I am like I was close to die, and they ask me this basic information about myself, I can answer it, even if I am away. I'm total away. I answer. So I understand that it's very hard for those people that take care of me, that they don't understand that I'm out. I'm not there. They don't understand it, because when I'm sleeping, I have my eyes open. So I have my eyes open a little, not full up or open, but half open I have, and so they think that I am awake, and then also that I can answer these basic the things they ask to see if uh, if I am there, like how it is with me. So when I come to the hospital in an emergency place in the hospital, they it was a doctor there, and she couldn't speak Swedish, and she couldn't speak English. She was Russia doctor, so I couldn't talk to her. And and they always check the heart, and then the nurse asked me a question, and it was question that have not with the basic things to do. I don't know, she maybe asked me if I had some diabetes and high blood pressure and that, like that. And I couldn't answer because that was not the basic questions. So I saw that I wake up when she turned around on her chair where she was sitting at the table and write down my answers. And I wake up when she turned around the chair, and then she come to me, and then she took a light in, open up my eyes and put a light in my eyes. And then she saw that I was not awake. She saw that when she light into my eyes. And then I come to a room, and I got some breathing because I have, it seems like I have had it for since I was a child, when I was killed, and that make damage very much in my body, and I don't breathe so normal. So they maybe thought that's why I was out of energy, that I couldn't breathe. And so I got a breathing machine, and then a nurse come to me and say that we have no bed for you. You have to go home. She said to me, it come a group of people into the emergency room, and they have done overdose of drugs, she say. So they need the bed instead of you. That was very bad. And later on, a nurse say that if you go coming in priority 1 with the ambulance, that is the law, that those people that coming in priority 1, they have to stay at the hospital for 24 hours to check up. But they told me that I have to go home, and I have no one that come and get me. I have to find out, and I was confused because I was not really awake, and I didn't know. I get panic when I was there in the hospital. So I ran out from the room with all these things that is the cords of for the heart, to check the heart, and there was those input for medicine in my arms hanging, and it was going. I was out, and I say it's in the law that we should have a second opinion from another doctor. That and they were very angry at me that I ran out from the room with all these items on me that they should take away first before I go home. But I say I refuse to come in the room. I need to have a doctor to look at me. I say I was really confused because I was so bad shape, and the nurse come and they only pull out everything on my body, so it was blood everywhere. It was blood going out in the air of that they pull out very fast. Those input I had for the medicine in my arms, and then I didn't know what to do. And in that time there was a emergency room for mental sick people. So I went in there like escape from those nurses that was after me, and but they didn't help me to get any taxi or anything. They we have here in Sweden that we can get a free taxi home from the hospital if we are very sick, and they didn't help me. So I went into this mental sick, and it come a man and said, look at me, and he said, why are you sitting here? You don't belong here. He said to me. He saw that I was not mental sick, but I said to him that they have only kicked me out from emergency room, and I am too weak. I don't know what to do now. So I sit here and I have to find out what to do because there is no one I can call to come and get me. And so this man, he called for a taxi, and I think he make so I could come home with the taxi without to pay, because I was so confused. I don't know if I had any money to pay the taxi. And then when I come home, I live on the third floor, and I didn't know how can I come up to my apartment when I am so weak. So if I come up to my apartment, but it took forever, and I was thinking I'm gonna die in these stairs because I'm so weak. But I come home, and then next day I had a doctor appointment. That was the good thing. It maybe saved my life that I had appointment for a doctor. So I go to the doctor, and he check out what's going on in my body. And I told him what have happened, and then he say that I have I have very bad. I have bacteria in my lungs, and it was as I had so much pain in my body. That's the bad thing, is that I couldn't feel that I have this illness going on in my lungs, and it have caused of that between my legs. I have the bacteria in my legs, and it was so much so it have infected my lungs also. So I have double. I was really very, very sick. Uh, but then he helped me with the medicine, so I get it going away from me. But that I was so thankful. I was so happy in 2008 because of this event that I stood down in the bottom of this well, and I was still awake. I could see things, I could think, and so that was the first time I realized that there is a life after death, because I was dead for some seconds and come down there in the bottom of the well. So I was so thankful after what happened that I got this answer from God that there is life after death. So that was what I wanted to tell you. I maybe have said it before, but not describe this with a hospital. And I have a problem with the hospital the whole time because people don't like me. People hate me. And it's something that disturbs them about me. They don't. I never realized that when I was younger, that it was something that people didn't like, that I don't know what it is, but something was it, and am at the hospital. So now when I have been to the hospital when we have this coronavirus, and that make I come to understand a little why they do so bad things to me at the hospital. It's because last time I was laying in the hospital for 4 or 5 days, and they were good to me because I was one of everyone. No one could have their family around them in the hospital because we have the coronavirus. No one had anyone with them. They were by themselves inside the hospital. And I understood that is because they didn't see me that I was on my own. They didn't see that I was alone, that I didn't have any protection from my family, from from my daughter or from my son, and not from any friends. They didn't see it because I was one of everyone else that was not allowed to have anyone in the hospital room. So that it seems like it's the what make people hate me, because I have no protection, visible protection of any person. So it's that I understand that I have understand for many, many years, that it's not about me, that I do wrong things. It's about them that hate me, that have things stored inside them, that they maybe have been abused as a child. They maybe are abused of their spouse. They have, I know also, I attract lesbian women. So I think that I have thought about that they do, they are attracted to me, but they don't want to be attracted to me. So they be angry about what they feel when they see me, because through the years, some lesbian women have asked me to be together with them, and I have to tell them that I am straight. I am not into women. So that I maybe help someone now to tell you this. It's not about you. It's what they feel that see you, and they react on things that they are have in their life, bad things. People have done bad things to them. They have mental problem, and they don't feel okay. They don't feel okay. They maybe look like they are okay, but inside them is like a war going on, and they must take it out on someone. And then they see, like me, that I have never had anyone that have coming with me to the hospital. Not my daughter's father were never visit me when I lay in the hospital because I'm going to give birth to his daughter. He hate hospital because his mother was laying in the hospital. His mother was mental sick, and he'd be scared of seeing the hospital like it was for a long time ago, how they treated people. So that he never wanted to go with me to the hospital. So I have to do everything on my own. And it felt very bad when I get miscarrying when I was in the 5th, 6th month, and I have to take the bus, going with the bus for, it was about 1 hour to the hospital, and then laying there and give birth to a dead baby, and then take going home with the bus also 1 hour, sitting there and crying inside me because I have lost my child, and have the mother clothes on also, and there was no belly anymore. There was not a child in my womb. I had felt the kicking of the baby in my womb, and now it was no one there, and there was the father of the child was not with me. No one was with me. It was kind of a very hard situation I was in when I went back home with the bus with an empty belly. I felt like empty inside me, total empty. So I have lived many people's life, so I know how it is to lost children, because I have been maybe pregnant. I counted it as between 10 and 15 times I have miscarrying. So I know what it is to lose. But that time when I sit on the bus, that time was the longest I have been pregnant and lost a baby. I was in 5th, 6th month, and the baby was kicking and everything was okay. And then suddenly one morning I had bleeding and went to the hospital, and the hospital say I could go home. They don't wanted me to be there, and I refuse. I say I don't go home. I don't want to have a baby in my bed, coming out in my bed. I say I stay here. So they couldn't take me away. So I got a bed, but they didn't do anything to help me. I have very much pain when the baby was on its way to come out, and I asked a nurse if I could get help for all this pain I had, and she said to me that I can't give you anything because the baby can be hurt. And I say to her that it doesn't matter because the baby is coming out and it's dead. It doesn't hurt. But I didn't get any pain relief, and the water went out from me, and I tried to call home to my daughter's father to ask him to come and help me, but I didn't. I have so much pain, so I didn't know the telephone number to my home. It was out from my brain. I couldn't, and then I go to the elevator to go try to find the way to their area where they giving birth at the hospital. But I couldn't use the elevator because I have so much pain. So the brain was out from it. I couldn't help. And then I was laying in a room with 8 other women that should give birth. And in the morning, when the doctor come, a woman, she's sit up in a bed and she's screaming at the doctor and the nurse that come in the morning. And they say, and she's screaming, "It's craziness, this poor woman, she had screaming and crying the whole night, and no one have helped her." She say very angry, and the doctor say I was laying like a foster style. I had so much pain, so I was laying and hold everything, my body, like the foster inside me had done. And the doctor say, I have to take her first, he say. So they took me out, and he looked inside me because the baby have not coming out. And he say that the baby is laying on the side. It doesn't come out because it's laying on the side. It doesn't was going down with their head or their feet. It was laying on the side inside me. That's why I have so much pain. So they have to do a surgery on me to take the baby out. And sometimes I'm thinking, like, if they have look at me, look at the situation in the night, they maybe could have saved the baby because it was big enough to could survive if they have taken out the baby, but they didn't do it. So the baby died inside me because it didn't could come out. So it's many things, but I see it that is like in God's plan that I should go through all this evil, hard situation for that people around the world is going through. That I have to have this to feel for people in that same situations, that I understand what they are going through to could heal them in, and that's what I do just now when I sit and do my podcast, that you hear that I have been there where you are today, or you have been in the same situation, so you know that I am thinking about you, that when you have this going on, and it's not what I have not read it, I have not heard it from other people. I have experienced it on my own, by myself, and I understand what you are going through. And I think it's more that I have to learn, so I can tell you I have been there. That what you are. I sometimes I am thinking that maybe it's these spirits that want me to go through everything that they have experienced. But in the first place, I have always thinking my situation have been for me to could talk to people that have that suffering from everything that I have going through all those things, and I meet these people, and sometimes when I have been to a church and the pastor, I have met those people that have a hard time with their life, and I tell them about my experience and tell them what to do, and they tell me, and sometimes I see it, that they understand that I have been in the same situation, in the same place as them. So they listen more to me and what listen at the pastors, because they don't understand anything what they are telling. The pastors is only telling them out from what they have read in books, or what the Bible is saying. But I am talking to people that, so they know that I know what I'm talking about because I have been there. So I feel now when I talking, that I feel your pain. There is people that listen now, even if it's not this date, this year, but I can feel like I'm not God, but I can feel through years from the past and the future, the my soul, that I can feel the suffering that's have been going on in your life, and I can feel the suffering you have today. I don't know the future, but I know the past and today what you are going through. And I tell you with full heart that I feel your pain. I feel your suffering. I feel your confusion. I feel how you struggle to get a normal life. I feel it. I feel it very strong. So I am with you. I am with you where you are now, because I can feel it. So take care of you, and you know that everything can change in a heartbeat. You don't know what the future brings for you. It can look like it's very terrible, and you can't live your life anymore. You are on your way to give up, but I tell you, I promise you that it's that you don't know the future, and if you cry out to God about your situation, and now I'm talking about that God that is my God, and not those man-made gods. It's the real God that was in the Old Testament, that was from the beginning. And if you cry out to him about your situation, I promise you that he will listen and change your life. It may be not going to change tomorrow, but it will come a day when you say to yourself that that was the time when it started to change my life, when I couldn't bear it anymore, that I have to cry out to God, crying out from my heart, everything that I have inside me that make me feel like I feel. And I promise you that if you cry out, really cry out, not like in a movie, your own crying out heart, that things will happen to you, because now I'm talking to God about you and your situation. So we are two people, and then God is with us, and that means that some good will happen in your life. Maybe not tomorrow, but it will come when the day when you feel free from all your pain and suffering. That's what I want to tell you. God, you know God loves you very much, and I love you too. So thank you for listening.